So hello, everybody. My name is Elena Mikhailova. I'm an Education USA advisor for Belarus. And today we are happy to have the guests from the University of Arizona sharing information about their university, but most importantly, talking about how to find your best fit university, how to make a thoughtful decision. And from our advisor's perspective, I can say that this is the most important step in your university pathway. So this is the step where you need to spend most of the time to examine all the options, to check all the information, to choose and create the list of universities you'll be applying to, because based on this list, everything else depends. So what tests you will need to pass, what documents you need to prepare, where you need to send them, and all the other small things. So it's a great information for you. And on this note, I would like to pass on the floor to Svetlana and Darya to introduce themselves and then proceed to the presentation.
Thank you very much, Elena. Thank you for having us today. So my name is Svetlana Popovic. I'm the International Enrollment Counselor at the University of Arizona. And today I have the pleasure of presenting with our international student, Darya, who will be sharing how she found her best fit university and the steps she went through, as well as share a little bit about how she's engaged at the university. So today's presentation is an overview about how to find your best fit university. And for prospective students who are looking and studying in the US, is how to choose a university based on the programs, based on location, based on what the university can provide for students. So thank you very much for joining us today from many different countries. Get started. So I want you to go ahead and imagine, so that in the US, there are 50 states, right? And in each of those states, there are many different institutions. So in the US, there's over 3,000 different institutions, universities, and colleges, which makes the decision difficult for students to understand when they're looking for what university to choose. So today, it's very important for you to look in terms of when you're looking to what university to study at in the US, you're looking for the location, right? Where you want to study in the United States and which state. You're looking in terms of the academics. What programs does the university have? Does the university have the program that you're interested in studying? As well as the culture, right? The diversity. Is the university diverse? Do they have other international students? As well as outside of academics for campus life. You're not just going to be studying at a university, you're also going to be involved in the university. What opportunities does the university have for students outside of academics? Are you going to be joining clubs, athletics, and then also the support. Does the university have support services for international students? And then also what you're going to be taking from the university after your 2 or 4 year program. So again, when you're choosing the type of university in the US, something to consider is whether you're looking in terms of public or a private university. And this is very important because of the size of universities. Are you the type of student who wants to see yourself at a university which has a lot of students, maybe 50,000 or more? Or are you looking in terms of private or university where you want to be studying with less than 50,000 students? Very important. And then also, if it's a research-based university, are you the type of university who wants to get involved with a research? You want to work with the professors? You want to find something new? Or are you interested in a liberal arts experience, university or college? And also, in terms of how long you're looking to study, are you looking to study for a 2-year or a 4-year degree program? That's very important, right? When you're looking into the universities, you're considering your program first. What are you looking for in the program? So programs, typically we have, for example, just because you're interested in engineering, there's many different types of engineering programs at the university. Are you interested in aerospace mechanical engineering? Or for example, if you're interested in business, what type of business program you're interested for? Are you interested in economics? Are you interested in accounting? Are you interested in many different types of programs? So again, narrow it down. What's going to be your major, your primary study? as well as minors. So students who tend to come to university, they come and they start to study, for example, business, but to make their program stronger, maybe they're taking a foreign language, right? Maybe they're taking Spanish. So they start to think, oh, how do I stand out from other candidates for a job, for the future job? So maybe that minor in Spanish or minor in something else makes the program a little bit unique, makes it a little bit stronger. So students who are coming to the universities in the US, they typically work with their academic advisor who assists them throughout their 4 years to make sure that they're able to graduate still on time within those 4 years, but also make sure that their program is strength to their needs, right? They can be taken a major for the business and as well as a minor. And something that is very interesting in the US, students can change a major. So maybe a student came in and they wanted to study mathematics. However, it was maybe a little bit difficult, maybe not what they wanted. And they would work with their academic advisor who is assisting there to work to change their major, to make sure that they understand what classes they'll be taking during those majors, to make sure they do fit in terms of their qualification to be able to choose a different major. So something to consider. Ranking. So sometimes for many families and many students as well, rankings. You're looking at different websites when you're choosing the universities, you're choosing the rankings. So again, please make sure that you're looking at many different websites, and different rankings can differ, right? Based on the website that you're looking into. You're looking in terms of rankings of reputation for the university or college. You're looking in terms of rankings of their research. If you're the type of student who really wants to get involved with research, please make sure to you review their rankings for their research. How can you get involved? Are you going to be involved in research as an undergraduate student, or will you have to wait to their last year to be involved in research? Again, the programs, how well ranked are the programs for that type of universities? And something that outside of these rankings, something that you also need to consider is what will you be doing outside of your program. So you're not just going to be studying. So you want to make sure you're thinking of beyond the grades. What about the campus? What can the campus provide for you during your years of studies? Is it a diverse? Is it somewhere where you see yourself for 4 years? Do you want to meet many different international students? Is there support on campus? Are there any other clubs? Are there any clubs that you can join? And then sometimes the high-ranked institutions are not always the best fit for you. So again, you want to make sure you're making that list, you're narrowing it down, you are looking at rankings, but you're also looking beyond the rankings. Location, again, so visualize the picture when I asked you, right? In the US, there's over 50 states, and they're all very diverse and very different from each other. So again, geographical location in the United States is very important. Where do you see yourself? Do you like big cities? Do you see yourself in a desert? Do you see yourself surrounded by water? Do you like the countryside or a smaller town? So again, what environment do you see yourself? Do you like the snow, the beaches, the mountains? So something that's very important, because you are going to be studying there for 4 years, and you want to make sure that there's something that you can explore outside. An admission review. So when you're applying to the universities, you want to make sure that you understand their review. How is you as a student and your application is going to be reviewed? Is the review going to be holistic? Are they going to be looking in terms of everything? They're going to be looking at your grades. They're going to be looking at what you've done in your high school, what clubs you've joined in high school, or it's going to be an academic comprehensive review where they're going to be looking in terms of your grades based on that, or guaranteed admission. So again, there's also other types of reviews. So make sure that you understand how your application will be reviewed by different universities. And you want to make sure you apply for different types of review. So that way you're not waiting a long time to hear back from one type of review. You want to make sure you apply for different universities based on different types of ways that they review your admission decision. And then campus resources. So as we mentioned, when you're looking in terms of what universities you're going to attend in the US, outside of your studies, you want to make sure that there's things that you can do as a student. Is there health center at the university that you want to attend, or a wellness center? So again, in case you get sick, where do the international students go? What types of services are provided there? Make sure you understand that. And then for research, if you're the type of student that really wants to get involved with research, make sure that there are research facilities. Make sure you are looking at previous, stories about students who have been involved in research. That way you can see yourself in those students. So you can do it starting from, first year at your university. And then food options, again, this is the comfort, right? So when you come from different countries, you want to make sure that there's still that comfort food. There's many different restaurants, many food options. Or maybe you're looking for something to try something new, completely out of your scope. Maybe you've never liked spicy food, but maybe you really want to try some spicy food, or make sure that there are different food options for you. And then also fitness centers. So sometimes at bigger universities, they can have 1, 2, or 3 different fitness centers. So are you the type of student who likes yoga classes? Do they offer that for you? Do you like to work out in between classes? Make sure that there's more than one fitness center. And then those are my favorite student organizations. So students who are at a university, they want to be involved in many different things. So besides studying, right, to make sure that you stand out from other candidates. So there's many types of organizations to get involved on campus. So if you're the type of student that likes the cultural club, so make sure the university does have certain cultural clubs. Maybe if there's a French club, a Spanish club, different clubs that you can join. Maybe you're interested, you watch lots of movies about the Greek life at the university in the US. There's a fraternity, there's the sororities. How do you get involved? There's also the honorary, so the honors honorary. So if you are the type of student who wants to be involved with honors clubs, you can also do that. There's also professional clubs. So if you're the type of student who really wants to be involved with business, economics, then make sure that there is a club for you to make sure you can talk about, you can meet other students who are interested in the same thing as you. So that way you can spread the information. And some of these clubs, you are able to travel to other states and talk about these your area, what you're interested in. And then recreational clubs as well. So for example, if you're the type of student who's outdoors, who likes to go hiking, so make sure that there are clubs that are provided for you as a student, who you want to make sure that you surround yourself with other types of students who like to do this, to share this experience, to make it a better time for you at a university. Also religious, so make sure that religion is very important to you. Make sure that the services or the clubs are there for you to get involved with. And then other special interests. So clubs are a great way to demonstrate leadership as well during your time at a university. So maybe if you can see yourself starting a new club on campus, you can be a president of the campus that is already at the university, or maybe you can assist somebody at the club to talk more about why other students should join your club. And then students who do join a club tend to have higher grades and higher rates of retention. So again, they're supported, they're within the community with other students who really enjoy to talk about or do the things that they like to do as well. And then money does matter when you're studying, when you're thinking about which university to study in the US. Again, financial is very important. So make sure that you're looking into what is the cost of the university? What is the cost of tuition and fees? What types of financial aid are there at these universities? What are additional funding options, and how to apply for the financial aid for additional funding? So you want to make sure that you are looking into and asking those questions. What is the cost of tuition and fees? Also, what is the cost of living in the state? Because different states in the US have different, when you go to the grocery store, different prices, right? So you want to make sure that you understand not just also the cost of the universities, but also the cost of living. What is the housing market like? Are you able to afford the tuition and fees, as well as to living right in that state? So make sure that you have those conversations with your parents, and make sure you do reach out to Education USA to understand what is the cost of tuition fees and the financial aid. So scholarships. So typically in the US, everybody applies for scholarships. They're very important. So it's just for you, very important for students who are looking into applying to university in the US. Again, making sure you understand the cost of tuition and fees, but also understand how these scholarships, the amount of scholarships that you're able to receive and when you're going to be able to receive those scholarships. So some scholarships are offered at the time of admission. However, some colleges are received after you apply, after you're admitted. So you want to make sure you understand when you're going to be able to find out what are the types of scholarships you receive and what the amount. So sometimes, so you can be able to understand what is the total cost of tuition and fees. And then once you receive the scholarship, you can subtract it. And then also understand what is the rest for you to pay after these scholarships that you receive. And again, the scholarships can be based on many different ways of how you apply. Maybe some scholarships you receive because of the grades, or maybe because of the holistic review. Maybe they're looking for you as a student, what have you done in the past as well. So making sure you understand what types of scholarships there are, what do you need in order to apply for those scholarships. And then at the end, how much money are you going to be receiving for that scholarship, so you can subtract it from the total cost of tuition and fees. Also, very important is not to miss the deadlines for applying to these scholarships. So when you're applying, making sure you understand the deadline. So when you apply for the specific scholarship, and don't miss those deadlines. And then make sure you provide all of your financial documentation that you will need for the scholarship. And there are many, many different scholarship resources for students. So, and we want to make sure that it can be overwhelming, right? Because sometimes it could be internal scholarships for different universities that you're applying for, or sometimes there could be external. You want to make sure that you narrow it down. You want to make sure you are researching those links, right? That you're researching for those additional scholarships. But make sure that you are bookmarking those links, because sometimes there's many different links, the passwords, the usernames, it's hard to remember. So make sure you're writing things down. Make sure you remember to revisit those websites. And some of these are very important. Make sure you communicate with Education USA to understand which scholarships does the university provide, and maybe they'll know of additional scholarships as well. So again, very important to do the research, right? So maybe you've received the scholarship from the university they're applying for, but maybe you're also looking for external scholarship, additional scholarships. So make sure you're, again, paying attention to those deadlines. And then again, setting expectations. So I know there's a lot of students who maybe hear it from somebody that, oh, there's scholarships that can provide everything, that covers everything. However, very few scholarships will cover all expenses. So many universities in the US have merit-based scholarships. They can cover part of tuition and fees. So again, doing that research is very important. Which scholarships you're looking for based on university that you're really interested in applying, and what will it cover? Will it cover partial tuition and fees, or will it cover part of housing? So very important for you to consider. Again, if considering a loan, make sure that you're looking at options in your home country, and international students cannot apply for US bank loan without a US citizen who can co-sign. So again, when you're looking for external ways to pay for the tuition and fees at a university in the US, make sure that you are researching about those additional, can you apply? And again, apply broadly. And what I mean by broadly is don't just apply to only the private universities, right? For how they do one way of how you as a student will be reviewed for admission. Apply to many different types of admission for universities, maybe public, maybe it's a couple of private, making sure you understand when you will receive the admission decision. So that way you can narrow down your list about when you receive that admission, what is the cost, and where do you see yourself in 4 years? And look for affordable options without a scholarship first. So maybe, maybe you're, so you want to look for starting looking at a school that is not that expensive. So again, maybe a community college, and then looking in terms of what scholarships are available for you. And again, very important to have an honest conversation with your family about financing your education. So you want to make sure that the numbers are adding up. So what scholarships you receive, and then also what you can pay out of pocket. And again, very important to apply to universities. Apply broadly. I cannot say this enough, because it will be easier on yourself, because you'll have to narrow down the list of universities, and then what is their admission criteria. And then once you receive admission decision, you will make it easier on yourself which universities you choose at the end. Make sure you are applying to universities that meet your academic profile. So financial aid scholarships are important, making sure that competitiveness, making sure that you're able to be admitted to the university, right? So you want to make sure that you are going to hear an admission decision, making sure that you know the admission review criteria, how you're going to be reviewed for admission. Avoid the wait list. For some universities, there are wait lists to be admitted to hear from a decision. So it might take a little bit more difficulties to communicate with universities because they have so many students that are being admitted. And then again, make it easier for yourself and limit the number of applications. So again, making a list for yourself, narrowing it down. What are you looking for? The criteria for your university. So make it easier for yourself. So that way, when the universities are trying to communicate, you don't have a lot of different emails that you're trying to answer to. And again, very important to have a backup plan. So sometimes you are really wanting to study at one university and you're applying for one, however, you don't get admitted, making sure that you do have a plan B to fall on, making sure you do have that still the universities that you want to attend, that you did get admitted to. So that's very important. In case your first choice does not work out, you always have your second or third choice. Now you got an offer. Now what are you going to do? You're very excited. Your family is very excited. What are you going to do? So making sure that you're waiting for all the offers before deciding. Again, we mentioned things about tuition fees and the cost of tuition and fees. So make sure you are having that list for yourself, making sure you're waiting for other admissions before you're deciding where you're going to go. Determine the value of scholarships. What types of scholarships do you receive? What is the amount, and how do you subtract that amount? What is the total tuition and cost left for you to pay? What is the living, right? Where are you going to be living? Prepare all the financial documents for applying for student visa, making sure you have those financial guarantees for the universities, making sure you understand the visa process. And then look for funding opportunities when you are a continuing student, when you're on campus, making sure that they do have the opportunities for international students to work on campus. There's other free services for university students on campus, so making sure you're utilizing those. And choose the best option based on your criteria and financial situation. Accept offers and then decline others. So again, to make it easier on yourself. Thank you. And speaking about universities, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the University of Arizona, which is located in Tucson, Arizona. We're surrounded by mountains. We are in the Sonoran Desert. It's very beautiful. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our how to apply and then also our scholarship. And then I will let Darya talk about her experience of choosing her best fit university. So the University of Arizona, there's different ways to apply. So if you're looking to come in on main campus in person, you can apply for main campus. Also, there's the Global Direct Online program for students who are looking to maybe start their studies online to still get that great degree, start online. And we also have the transition to main campus. So maybe you're interested in coming on main campus, but you want to start your studies online. So you can start for a semester or a year online and then transition to main campus, or you can just complete your degree online as well for a discounted rate. Also, we come to you. So making sure that if you do want to get a degree from the University of Arizona, looking at micro-campus dual degree programs could be a great option for you. So that way you can get to a dual degree program from the University of Arizona, as well as from the university in your country. So great way. Applying to the University of Arizona. So the first step is to apply by the deadline at everywhere.arizona.edu, our website. We do have the spring and fall admissions, which is the deadline for spring. 2024 is November 1st, and fall is the deadline to apply for fall is May 1st. You're looking for upload your academic transcripts. We are looking for a GPA of 3.0, and then for transfer students 2.0. We do need the last 3 years of coursework. So we're looking for the last 3 years of coursework translated into English. And you also would need to send official English proficiency. So for specific programs, again, sometimes the programs can be require higher proof of English proficiency. So you want to make sure you're communicating with your enrollment counselor about what type, your English proficiency is the scores enough to be able to be admitted into your program. We do accept Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL, SAT scores are optional. And then also if you attended a high school where English, where medium of instruction in English was more than 3 years, you can also apply that for proof of English proficiency. And lastly, you'll submit your application and pay the application fee, and you will receive an admission decision from the University of Arizona within 10 business days. So that way, you know what you're admitted to, and as well, you know the scholarship, which is next. So scholarships, as I mentioned, very important. So international students, we do have one scholarship for international student, which is called the First Year Global Wildcat Award, and it's based on the GPA. So the higher the grades that you receive during your high school is the better amount of scholarships you will receive. So for example, when we're looking for as a student who's applying, you're admitted for fall 2024, you've completed your application, you submitted all the required materials. It's based on the last 3 years of her high school transcript. So we translate into the GPA out of 4.0. So if you're a student who received a 3.6, it's around between 3.5 and 3.74 GPA. So you would be awarded $13,000. So that $13,000 will be subtracted from your total cost of tuition and fees, and they are renewable for the 4 years of your program. So you want to make sure that you understand the how to maintain the scholarship as well. You want to make sure you're reading the fine print as well. So the scholarship is eligible for 4 years. However, you want to make sure that you're maintaining the GPA. Make sure you are taking the 12-year credit, 12 credit courses to maintain that scholarship. And again, the scholarship will be going for half for the fall and half for the spring semester. As well as a internal scholarship, the Global Wildcat Award. There's also, once you're admitted as a student, you have your student ID, you can apply for a scholarship universe. So additional scholarships on Scholarship Universe. You'll create a profile and you'll be matched with additional scholarships. There's also Honors College. If you're interested in getting involved with Honors College, they do have additional scholarships. And then also on-campus employment. So you can get involved on campus and you can have enough money to pay maybe for food, maybe for clothing. Okay, thank you. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our international student, Darya, who will be sharing a little bit about herself and about her journey to choose her best fit university. Thank you, Darya.
Hello, everyone. My name is Darya Petshina, and I'm an international student from Kazakhstan, and I'm studying at the University of Arizona. This is my 3rd year here, so I'm a junior, and I'm doing the bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering. A little bit of background about myself, what I do outside of campus, outside of my classes. I'm a part of Engineering Student Council. Also, I do the research, so I work in the lab. And I work in the biosensors lab where I study nanoplastics. And also I'm a student worker at the International Admissions Office. I'm going to share a little bit about my journey of finding my best fit university. So everything that was mentioned is very important. And the first thing that you have to think about yourself is what do you want to study and what are going to be the major requirements that you chose. So for instance, for me, I was always interested in physics and math. So it was engineering field, and also I wanted to connect it with something medical. So that's why I chose the biomedical engineering, because it kind of joins two of the fields that I was interested in. Also, it is important for you to look for the school size. If you want to be in a big university, or if you want to study at the smaller university, for me it was important so that the university would be a bigger one, because I wanted to meet as many people as I could while I'm studying here in the United States. Also look for the housing options. What do they offer, and if you like them. And also another thing that was really important to me was diversity, because I wanted to have a lot of international students on campus, which the University of Arizona offered to me. Also look for the scholarships and financial aid, because you want to keep the scholarships and financial aid that you can afford, and look for the universities that actually offer scholarships for the international students. Also keep track of the documents, deadlines, GPA, and standardized tests that are required from the university. You can also create a spreadsheet where you are going to put every university that you're interested in, and then put the deadlines that you need to submit your documents due by. Also make sure that you fit into the GPA requirement for this university and which tests you have to submit. For instance, for me, I send SAT scores, and also I send my TOEFL exam as my English proficiency tests. Then also a lot of universities offer online tours and sessions that you can attend, and also you can get the sense of how it is to be the student of the university, because through the online tours you can see how the campus look like, so you can kind of imagine yourself being already at the university. And also some of the universities offer sessions from the professors, so you can feel the sense of being a student at the university. And then after you looked up all of these criteria for each of the university, you can compare your options. So also, as I mentioned previously, you can create a spreadsheet and put everything that is important to you from each university, and then compare your options based on your research about every university. Finding my best fit university. So I wanted to talk and give you an example of why I chose the University of Arizona. So first of all, they gave me the financial aid, and it was a really good scholarship award. So that was one of the advantages. Next one, it was really important to me so that my program that I'm studying would be ranked higher. So I know that the engineering programs are top 20 at the United States here. So my program is also a strong engineering program. Also, it was really important so that university would have a lot of research opportunities, because the bigger the university is, the more different kind of research you can do, and you can choose every type of the research or lab you want to attend and work at. Because for instance, at the University of Arizona, every professor that I had for my class, they have their own lab or their own research that is going on. So you can talk to them after the class and choose what interests you. And then the diversity. There are so many people from different countries, which is really important, because you can make a lot of friends here from different countries, and then you are going to be a global citizen after that, because you can visit them after and make friends, learn about new cultures. And then University of Arizona is the large university, as I mentioned previously. So that was also really important to me. And that was also what I was looking for. Also, I really like the climate. Since I came from Kazakhstan, the winters are really cold. So I wanted to experience something different. So here in Arizona, the climate is really warm, and I like that. Also the scenery, what do you want to see around yourself? Do you want to be around mountains, or do you want to be next to the beach, or next to the desert? So that's what I was looking for. And also I wanted to study in a smaller town, because I didn't want to have a lot of distractions for myself when I'm going to be at the university. So that's why University of Arizona was a great fit for me, because they were located in a smaller town, which doesn't have a lot of distractions for myself, so I can really focus on my studies. And also, it is very important to time manage your time when you already come to the university. So first of all, you have to create your class schedule. We have an academic advisor who helps you to choose classes which are required for your major for the 4 years. So you will already have your classes that you're going to take for 4 years in order to complete all of the requirements for your major. And then based on that, you have to build your schedule. Also, at the American universities, the schedule is very flexible. So if you're a morning person, you can choose the classes to take in the morning. If you're not, then you can choose the classes to take in the evening. So it is really flexible and it is very convenient. So you will have options which classes you want to take and when. Then around the class schedule, you're going to build everything else in. So for instance, if you want to participate in any extracurricular activities such as clubs or lab, research. And also if you're interested in sports, you can also participate. You can be in a football team, you can be in a tennis team or stuff like that. And then you have to build those activities into your class schedule and around the class schedule. Then if you're willing to work on campus, there are many jobs that are offered on campus. And also they're very flexible with the schedule because you can put your work between your classes and then you can just go to class, go to work, and then go back to class. And also it is very important to plan your free time in order to avoid the burnout from your classes, from the activities that you're doing, and also from your work if you work on campus. It is very important to plan, and then you have to find things that actually fulfill you and then bring you energy back. So for example, you can do hiking or you can do yoga, you can just stay at home and watch a movie or hang out with your friends, but it is really important to build in the free time into your schedule, or else you will be just busy and always tired. And my biggest advice for the students who are planning to apply right now to the universities is to start early and research your options very thoroughly, because it will be a challenging process. But trust me, when you will achieve your goal of studying at the US universities, you will be so happy. And also here are the ways that you can get connected with the University of Arizona. You can follow us on any social media that is mentioned here, so you can get the news. And also you can send us an email or text us on WhatsApp and ask us questions that interest you. And thank you everyone who joined the presentation.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Alexandra. Darya, sorry, I'm already somewhere else. Darya and Svetlana. I think we can spend a couple of minutes, right, for the questions. So for those people who are in the webinar, and you've heard a lot of very nice information, a lot of things to think about, where to start from. So if you have any questions now, is a good opportunity for you to ask. And as you are writing these questions, start typing now, because we don't want to spend too much time, and want to, we know that you have to continue with your further studies, work, or just relax in the evening. So type your questions right now. My question to both Svetlana and Darya would be, a lot of students when they're researching, like we talked, that yeah, you have to explore all this academics, you have to explore financial options and financial aid, culture, and you talked about living on campus, doing more than just studies. How do they gain this information, right? The first step is visiting the website or reviewing at all those navigators as College Board or College Navigator or other websites. But if they really want to dig deeper and to find actual reasons why they would like to prefer this university over the other, what would be some offbeat strategies they can use to actually learn better about the university of their interest?
Yeah, That's a great question, and I can go ahead and answer that one first, and then if you have anything else to add. That's great. So many universities do provide that one-on-one advising with their enrollment counselor. So that's why we're here for students. So if you're applying to the universities, you want to make sure that they do have the enrollment counselor. So that way you can schedule an advising appointment with them via Zoom, and you can speak to them one-on-one about the different types of questions that you have. So we can answer for you based on living on campus, based on the housing, based on the location, based on what other things that students would like to do. We work with many different students, and we have many different questions. So for example, if a student wants to know what it's like to study, be an engineering student, we can introduce them to, the academic advisor for example, for an engineering, engineering department does have their student ambassadors, which are students, and maybe they're international students who are currently in this program. So as student ambassadors, they're going to be able to connect with you, and you'll be able to ask them questions, students who are currently studying, about what it's like to be a student in this type of program. So I would suggest making sure that those, again, connect with the enrollment counselors to making sure, how do you find out all this information? Are you able to connect to actual students to understand what types of things that you can be involved in campus, and what types of scholarships and other things that you can apply for. And Darya, if you have anything else to add.
Yes, for myself, I also emailed every university that I was interested in. I had so many questions, and I was just asking every university, what do they have? What I was interested in. And also sometimes I would do one-on-one sessions as well with every university, but it took a lot of time. So it's very important to start early. And yeah, and then once I came to the university, I was asking my friends, I was just asking people on my classes. And then I was also asking about my academic advisor about what do they offer. And I was really annoyed about that, because I really wanted to know like what opportunities they have at the university.
Thank you. There was also a question if you can recommend any courses for TOEFL or IELTS for Darya, or maybe if you can recommend any general strategies how to prepare for language tests as people are preparing for that.
I started preparing for TOEFL and SAT or IELTS when I was in 9th grade, and my school was offering actually the courses for TOEFL and IELTS, so I was going to them. And then also I was using American Corner in Kazakhstan, in Astana, and also the other way I learned English was that I participated in the Flex program, and yeah, I think that's it. Also, a lot of resources are available online on YouTube. Just if you Google like how to prepare for TOEFL, there are so many good videos that you can choose from and prepare yourself for TOEFL and IELTS exams.
And there is also a question related to tests and Q&A. How much do SAT results affect the application and the success? Maybe
for right now, when I was applying, it was after COVID, so they weren't really looking for the SAT, and they just made it optional. I just sent it for the universities, but it was still optional, so I don't think it really affected the my admissions rate to the university. And right now, I know that a lot of universities made it still optional for SAT, so I don't think it really affects right now the applications, but I'm not sure for each university how it does affect if you are applying with SAT or no.
Yeah, so again, I would suggest making sure that you are working with that university you're applying for, and making sure you ask them the questions, what is required for the application, or SAT is required, and what other documents you would need.
And next two questions, I think that kind of can be put together, us together. The first is about mental health, that you're changing the living location for studying, and overall adjustment to the living in the new country. How do students have any problems with that? How do they deal with that? How it affects student? What are maybe some resources?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I will just in general, that's okay. I will just in general say that you want to make sure that there are types of services for international students. So we have the campus health on campus, so students can come to campus health, as well as we do have counseling services for international students. So some universities do have those offices just for international students, where you can come and you can talk to a counselor, or they can guide you for other assistance that you would need, other resources that you would need for students. But there are different types of resources for students, and making sure that you understand what types of resources you need, and is the university providing those resources for you as a student. And then Dari?
Yes, and I wanted to add from myself that, of course, when you come to a new country, everything is going to be different. You're going to feel that you're here by yourself because your parents are in your home country. And it is kind of the transition also to your adult life, because you have to figure everything out by yourself. Even like small things like, where do I get the groceries? How do I manage my apartment? How do I like build my routine and the schedule? And of course, the first year was the hardest because you're also here without any friends, because you don't know anyone. And what I did, as Svetlana mentioned, I went to the international student office and I was asking if they can connect me with the students from Kazakhstan or any other students who are Russian speaking. And so that helped me, and that's how I found friends, because they were providing a lot of events for only international students. And I was also kind of they were experiencing the same feeling as I did. So I was talking to them, and it is really important to share your feelings and how you feel about the situation, because it helps that you have a lot of people around you who understand your situation, because they were also transitioning from the home country to the United States. But of course, there's a challenging process, but everyone goes through that. And it's just important to talk to everyone, to your friends, to your family, and share how you can deal with those kind of situations.
Thank you. And thank you again for this presentation. I think the final question would be, with more than 4,000 accredited institutions, there are a lot of institutions to choose from. Of course, there might be some limitations if you are looking at your own profile, like your financial situation or your aspirations, academic aspirations, stuff like this. But still, there are a lot of universities, and it's really hard to make a choice. What would be your one best or most vital advice that you would give to students who are now deciding on their top university? What should they take into consideration? The main thing.
Yes, and I'll just go first. So for you to decide, again, this is where you're going to be studying as a student. For me, that one is again financial. Remember the cost of tuition and how much the cost of the university. It can be a lot, right? So making sure that you're having those conversations, making sure you're looking for those scholarships, the internal scholarships and external scholarships. So are you able to afford, the university? Because are you able to afford living in that state? Because the last thing that we want you is to come to the US to start your university and then stress out about finances. So making sure you have those honest conversations with your family, making sure that you understand, right, every year, what are you going to be paying for the books, for the food, for when you want to go out, right, for movies, for clothing, how much is going to be costing you to live in that state. So again, making sure the more questions you ask, the better it is. So making sure you're reaching out to Education USA, reaching out and working with your enrollment counselor for the university that you're interested in. And Dari?
Thank you.
I think also another tip that I can provide is, if you're interested in one university that you really want to go to, you can research YouTube, because there are a lot of people who are YouTubers and they're making vlogs of how is it to be a student of that university. And I feel like it can give you the sense of how it is actually to be there, because you cannot visit US before you come here. So I think it is a really good way to understand the vibe of the university, and then you can decide if this is a good fit for you or no.
Thank you. Thank you once again for presenting. I'll be stopping the recording at this point, and thanks to all the students who attended. We'll also share the link to recording with everybody who was present, but also with everybody who registered and couldn't participate live. So thanks once again.
Thank you, and good luck, everybody, on your journey into finding your best fit universities. And we'll be able to stay in contact with Education USA with Elena if you have any additional questions. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Good luck, everyone.